Kristen. Same. Just kidding.
Period queen. I look disgusting. I can only say.
Welcome to the Vile Podcast.
We're all disgusting.
Welcome to the Feral Podcast.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm chilling, dude.
Yeah. Chilling with my bros.
How's it hanging, everybody? Don't worry, guys. I saved y'all. Welcome. Cruisin The Planet is a weekly podcast run by students here at Tarleton Radio Network. Each week, we discuss what's new in our lives in the area and much more. You can listen to college radio station KXTR 100.7 The Planet by visiting KXTR.com and click Listen Live.
Listen live.
How are y'all?
We both just got back from an event, so miserable a little bit.
And you smell like one, two. Jokes.
That's It's Taylor.
I was like, that was really in sync on here, so I was like, what happened? And I turned.
Peanut butter baby.
How's y'all's week going? It's midterms week, y'all. I'm struggling.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't have any midterms.
What? You know, honestly, I haven't had any midterms. They're all late. So my midterms are going to be like next week.
No, all my midterms are this week.
Taylor.
How's it going?
Good.
It's going. What you doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Taylor want to say hi.
My foot got stuck. I wish we could do it.
But yeah, so all my midterms are this week, which kind of stink, but I'm just getting them out of the way. But one of my classes is my first and like one of my only tests I have in there is my midterm. I'm like,
So
Bro, people
what?
wouldn't be picking just like tests.
I'm
as
in, like,
your thing.
weird enough classes, like a lot of more art ones.
yeah.
So I think that's a difference. For y'all's classes, is your midterm weighted more than your final?
I don't think so.
So for music majors, it's a little bit different depending on the classes that you're taking. So right now, mine aren't anything like this, but I know my freshman and sophomore. Can you just turn me individually up? It's I'm like really
You're
struggling.
already in the red.
No, not my voice. My headphones.
Oh.
She can't be hearing herself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yes, I can actually hear
Sweet,
myself
sweet
now.
audio.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. There's no sarcasm. I was being whatever. You know, I try to be a nice person, and it comes out that way, and I'm like, I'm sorry. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
How it's
I wasn't
different from
listening.
music business.
Okay. So music majors in general, like your freshman and sophomore classes, they focus more on
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly.
what is it called? Proficiency. There we go. So you have like a midterm, which is more like your proficiency, and it's just to show if you're proficient in what you're doing.
That's fair.
But that's how our like midterms and finals work, especially for like music theory, oral skills, piano class, like things like that.
Do you know how to play the piano?
I passed
What
my
was your
classes.
proficient grade? Yeah, I was.
I passed my proficiency, and then I've forgotten everything since then.
That's cool.
That's fair.
It's crazy to see how like different majors, how different things weigh out in different,
Yeah.
classes.
That's crazy, bro.
I only asked because my best friend, she was like, "Look at my class. This is ridiculous." And the like class average for the midterm, because they had it like a week early or something, was a 61.
Jesus.
And I was like, "Hey, that's not on y'all. If the average of the class is failing, the teacher is doing a bad job."
Yeah.
But anyways, it's weighted 30%, and her final is 20%.
I don't know why we're doing that. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I was like,
I get
on
the
what
I
planet?
I feel like the final and the midterm should be weighted
Cruisin
equally.
The Planet.
Also,
Sorry, I had to.
I also feel like they should be weighted like equally. You know what I mean? Because also the final should not be cumulative. It should just be what happens after the mid. What the heck is that? Do you hear that?
Yes.
Too? Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I
Continue.
was like, what the heck is what is
Continue. I'll
going
figure it
It
out.
should not be, because
Because like
unless you're
expected me to remember
having
that
an open
much.
note.
Yeah, if it's
If you have an open note,
you have
ask
no
me whatever,
excuses.
but if I'm just supposed to know off dome, I cannot at once remember everything I've ever learned in this class.
yeah,
Especially.
It's the KTR ghost. She hasn't been around for a while.
Wow.
She comes around. She comes around
no,
October.
bro, no, I'm being serious because this ghost bro has taken out 2 of our songs, like 2 PSAs.
It
I
really-
completely did
It's a real ghost. Like, y'all
there's-
can
no,
clown on us
straight
all
up.
you want.
We'll talk about this next.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's really hard to remember stuff off the top of the brain, especially when you're taking 19 hours. I'm like, dog, I have like 6 other classes.
That's what bothers me. They're like, well, I have to grade all these papers. And I'm like, bro, on one subject, I have 5 classes right now. And sometimes we'll have like 2 assignments going on in one class. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Please
really
don't make me know everything off dome because I can't not do that.
Well, a lot of I feel like a lot of professors, especially after COVID, have been a lot more lenient on the open book. They were just like, we already know you're gonna cheat. You might as well just use it.
Yeah, and
like that was literally my professor today. He goes, yeah, like I already know y'all are probably gonna look it up, so just use your notes and like whatever.
Well, my teacher, she was like, here's the exam, and I kept like refreshing it, and I was like, where? Because I was waiting for a start assignment. It's a file we downloaded, did the exam, and then turned it in. So I was like, so it's open note, right? She doesn't expect me to sit here and be like, just with a Word document, like I.
Yeah, she can't.
And unless
no physical way
if you're reading the book, you should know it, you know?
Yeah.
And she can't know how long I've had it. I don't know. So.
There was a thought process, and it literally went gone. Like, hey, Baba, swing, and it's out of the ballpark. It's gone. Like, it's just.
I thought you were going to say you striked out.
Oh, no, I was kidding.
Do you have test anxiety?
Oh my God.
It's so bad, bro.
And you were talking about Proctorio out there.
Freaking hate
that has worsened it. I don't know what it is. Like, being in a room with people is already bad enough.
And like someone's watching you.
Having the teacher walking
God,
around.
when they walk
but
around.
having yourself recorded and like somebody can go back and see anything stupid you do or any mistake you've made. So much worse.
Because I feel like at some point you're like, it feels like you're in your own space or whatever, and you're like, you kind of forget it's on, like you're in the middle of the test, like you may just forget and you like drop an F-bomb or you like say something dumb.
No, that's when we were talking about this a bit before we got in here, and one of the things I brought up was I've had one where it's just like my voice in my screen, so it can hear like page ruffling or something, you know, and I didn't have all that because my notes were digital. Whatever, because it was like right when we switched to COVID, so I wasn't prepared for everything that happened. And I feel so bad if that sweet. It was like this. He's like 80, like minimum 80, and he's so sweet. He would call us troops. He'd be like, "All right, troops, we're doing this." He was so sweet. I hope he never listened to the audio from that test, because I was like, "What the? This is." Like left and right, because his test was nothing like his review.
Oh,
that's another thing. Do y'all have like reviews for any of your midterms?
Yes,
so I have reviews, and then they're like nothing like what's on the test, bruh.
I like when they're exactly the test. I actually had
Kirk makes the best test, bro.
Shout out Kirk.
Kirk Wise, where you at?
One of our DJs here in KTRL, Moment Quasi. I had his class, and I did his full review. I hustled through it, and then the day of the test, he opened it up, and it was like, "Hey, if you did your review, submit it. You don't have to write the essay at the end of the test."
You're like, thank God.
And I was like, oh. I submitted it. I was like, I'm gone. And then I had this group, because we had a group project, and we texted, and me and Nick, shout out my boy Nick, we had done it, and we were like, yeah, it was easy. And they were like, wait, if you did the review, you didn't have to. It was like a 3-page essay or something, or like a 500 word something, you know, like just long enough to be bothersome. And they're like, I sat there and wrote an essay, and I was like, should have done the review.
I know.
Sorry about it.
Like, if you give me a review, if you're a professor and you give me a review, I'm going to, like, religiously go by that review.
And you should be. It's a review for the test. Why would they be separate things? That doesn't make... Oh, bro, it doesn't make any sense.
But you should have read your book. That's their always comeback is like, you should have read your book. And it's like,
front to back.
If I wanted to read a book, I would have done online studies. I'm here for you to teach me, not me to read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, not everyone has the same, like, learning method. Like, there are some things that I can learn from a book, but there are some things I cannot learn from a book.
I
like,
cannot learn
most
from
things
a book.
Try to teach me how to do oral skills, which is like listening with your ear and learning pitches and like that's this many intervals apart or whatever. Try doing that online.
No.
Because when the COVID hit, that's when I had to do that, and I almost failed my classes because like you cannot. You cannot. It just did not work. Speaking of oral skills, you think your test anxiety is bad? Wait until like you have to sing in front of other people.
Ew.
Because like they'll be like, okay, so you're gonna have this page, and this page. I want you to practice these excerpts, and when you come in for your test, I will pick one and you will sing it. Bruh.
There ain't no way.
Or they'll do sight singing exams where they just give you something and you just have to go for it. And I don't have a good voice quality, especially when I sing, and that's why I get anxious. Is I'm like, my voice doesn't sound good, and they're like, we don't care, and I'm like, yeah, you don't care, but I do.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
Here's the thing with test anxiety too. A lot of people are like, you just have to be confident, blah blah. Have y'all ever gone into a test hella confident,
And
like
then fail.
so prepared, and you're like, Psh, that test was easy, and
That's
then you
where my
get your
test
grade
anxiety
back, and
came
you're
from.
like, ooh.
Yeah, I hate being overconfident.
Because I'll be on that, and then like I will be,
You're like, that
I'll
was the
feel
easiest test I've
I'll
ever
feel
taken.
underprepared and be like, I for sure failed, get a 90, and I'm like, how am I not supposed to be self-deprecating when the stats don't lie? Like,
Bro,
Yeah.
so my question to you, so like whenever you're writing papers, do you do better when you procrastinate to write your papers, or do you do better when you plan it out and like do it way ahead of time?
can I get into the exact way I write papers?
Yes.
Because I get very good grades on all my papers.
Oh, hell yeah, tell me that.
English
Tell me.
minor, most likely. It's coming my way. So what you do is when you get it, whatever, you have your idea, you make a bulletin list of like, here, first off, write your thesis statement, like write your reason for writing the paper, basically. Write that down. Have that as your first thing. Within that, you should have your 3 points for your body paragraphs, or however many you're going to make. Maybe it's 2. I've written one where it was like an 11-page paper, but I only had 2 points I was covering. Whatever works. And have them, and then get as much information as you can about those 2 things and have them organized. And then when you go to write your paper, have your paper right here and that document or whatever over here, and just...
Oh yeah.
And all the information's there. You just have to do the filling in.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you do.
So much
Yeah.
easier.
People diss out on the brainstorming and outline stuff, and like your teachers in high school and middle school taught you that for a reason, because when you get in here and you're having to type like a 15-page paper.
Well, and the way they did it, I hated, because they would like outline and stuff. Yes, they would make me write the paper, a rough draft.
No.
Screw a rough draft. My paper is my rough draft, but I went over it for spelling and stuff.
Yeah.
I should be writing my paper. I should only be writing my paper when I know I'm able to write it.
So
I'm not writing 2 papers.
Exactly.
For
right?
11 pages. Like, no.
Yeah. This is what I do. So like I do some brainstorming, figure out like what's my topic. So for example, my music. My music history paper. So our final paper is like 10 pages, like 8 to 10 pages, and it's. So we have to have sources and stuff, because it's more on the lines of like a dissertation than it is like an actual paper. So it's like you have to like talk about specifically on something. So I can't just say like, I want to talk about the evolution of music notation. No, you have to have that specific time period and stuff, and like go into detail. I'm like, this is not what I'm majoring in. I'm not majoring in music history. Why are you making me do this? Anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do Franconian notation, which is a type of notating from like the 1200s, around that area. Anyways,
Jeez.
so it was like close to that in the Ars Nova period. Anyways, I'm not going to give you a lesson in music history. So I was trying to do that, and I was looking up sources, could not find a single source for that. On like even the JSTOR, and then there's also ProQuest, which has like doctorate
the
dissertations
library
and
database
stuff.
thing.
Nothing. And then I went and looked, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Notre Dame Polyphony. No, not a thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna pick a composer from the time period and just use that.
I'm gonna look and find what I can find and write a paper.
That's literally what I ended up having to do. So you figure out your topic, and then you find your outline and all your sources. Get your sources first. That's like the first thing.
Annotate your sources so you know what quotes you're using.
Yes.
Don't read a paper and be like, that was a good paper, I'll use it.
No.
Read it, and then if you read something and you're like, so true.
I like that. Highlight it and like copy it somewhere and keep it, because that's going to be really well. And when you're planning it out, so what I do is I'm like, okay, this is how many paragraphs I want to talk about. Each paragraph, like the beginning of like paragraph 1, what this paragraph's about. And I write like just a quick sentence. And then I do bullet points of this is something, this is something, this is something, this is a source I'm going to use. These are topics I'm going to make. Here's another source. And then I go into my next paragraph. And so that when you're actually writing it, you have like all of your stuff there, and you're just like, okay, so
that's what I do.
This conveys this because this person said this here. Insert long quote. Then I discuss that, diagnose that, and then I like go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes writing your paper so much easier. And I promise, I know it's time consuming and it can be very annoying. I'm very aware.
But you can spread that part out over a couple days to where your actual paper writing is like an hour.
Yeah, because
my writing method, y'all are way too complex. Too complex. My brain does not work like that. If my brain can be organized to be one thing, I literally get whatever my topic is, the professor gives me, I'm like, okay. And then whatever I need, I find as I go. And just and I'll have it looked out in 30 minutes.
Do y'all have a lot of professors? Like think of all the papers you've written. Have you
I've written like 4.
Okay. Those out of those 4,
I'm more of a speech gal.
Have you been assigned the topic you had to write about, or was it like a category and you got to specify?
In college, I've never had the paper where I got to pick what I talked about. It was always something they just handed here.
Really?
And they gave me sources and everything. That's why I'm like, y'all did all this? Like, but I'm a comms major, and I was a kines major before. Oh, okay. So we don't really write many papers in either, because most comms was speech, and kines, it was write a paper on the bones. I mean, it's really just plain Jane. It wasn't crazy.
Yeah, so mine are like research papers.
Yeah, I had to terrible.
I remember when I did psychology, I did my psychology test, I had to write a topic about some mental health thing. Or mental disorder, and I had picked schizophrenia, but I did so much research for that stupid paper.
Did you ask me about certain things?
Bruh.
I'm your gal. Yeah. I know so much of
like just random knowledge, from having to write so many papers. Yeah. Bruh. Yeah.
So if you're in Gabby's boot, just write the paper. If you're in our situation, do the outline thing,
what did Taylor say in the chat?
Taylor said Gabby doesn't write papers. Be looking zoned out during the whole conversation.
I know, for real. You were like,
you said, I was just like, I didn't have any input.
You just checked out, and I was like, we should probably switch topics so Gabby can have something to talk about.
She's just a sleeping beauty. Hee hee.
I love Taylor.
You know, whenever she types hee hee, she genuinely is like hee hee. You know, if I type hee hee, it's like hee hee. You know?
So, if it's HEH, also, it's like, that's all I mean.
If you see like lots of like random letters, it's because I'm like, that's what that means.
Okay, so what's up with this ghost in here?
Oh, bro.
Okay. We can get into it.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
KXTR Ghost has been around for a minute now, and it does not like it gets really active in the winter, and not in the winter necessarily, but like the fall. But also it keeps when people aren't here a lot, it messes with people. Like, it was terrorizing Ethan last year apparently, but it will come in here and like only one person will hear it first, and then it'll like go to the next person, then you, and it does not show up in the recording on the live stream or on like the podcast version, like the Audacity recording, but like we'll all hear like, and it almost sounds like somebody talking. It's like really weird. Just weird stuff happens in here. Like you said, it messes with audio stuff a lot.
Yeah.
It gets freaky.
So another thing is, so I made a PSA for the choir concert that's happening this month. And like I've scripted it, script got approved, and I've like recorded it and I edited it and I had it edit approved, and it was literally in the system. And I'm like trying to find it because I'm like updating our little, we have like a spreadsheet for all of that.
Yeah. And
I go to update and I was like, so it's been approved and it's like supposed to be put in the system. Has it been put in the system? And he was like, no. And I go and look, and I'm like, I can't find any recording, any script. And I looked at the paper scripts, can't find the stupid paper script. It's like literally gone.
And one time,
unless I'm like stupid and I can't find it, but
I was in here like late one afternoon because I like stayed for a little bit, and it was basically just me. And I heard something from in the kitchen. It sounded like, I don't know. You all know how our kitchen cabinets sound? Mm-hmm. Like when you're like, it kind of sounded like that. And I was like, hey, because I thought maybe like James or Momin was here or something. And then nobody said anything, and I was like, okay. And then I went to my ancestors, went full white, and walked back there towards the noise and looked around, and there was nothing. And I was like, okay, have a good night. And like walked off, and I was like,
stop it. I thought I just moved. I was like, oh my gosh.
She said, ooh. Yeah. Brianna moved recording. Gabby jumped a little bit. Bro. It happens. It gets spooky. There's been like weird stuff like that, like where you just hear
paranormal activity does not scare me.
Have you been... You have not... I don't know if Taylor experienced anything during her morning edition times, but...
I feel like if we... Because you know how
morning edition is scary, bro.
Yeah, if you talk to James, he'll be like, oh yeah, this and this.
There's to the Fine Arts Theater. We named him Clyde. Stop.
Oh yeah, Clyde. There's a ghost
Clyde
in the Fine Arts.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a ghost in the Fine Arts Center. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, but there has to be, because like things be happening. I'm like, nah, man, nah, I'm good.
No, John Tarleton is buried on campus. He's just like haunting everybody.
You know, if you could not homie, that'd be great. Yeah. Like, I don't know what you want, but like, can you not?
Yeah, any ghost listening, I can't help you. Don't come to me.
Do you know how ghosts are able, like, you're able to hear them and talk and stuff, is because they're using your energy? Mm-hmm. So if you offer your energy to them, they will more than likely use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they can get attached to you, and it's like a whole thing.
So let me...
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm invested in...
You know, I believe in this stuff very hard. And the reason why is because I've experienced very questionable things happen. My mom has told me a story when she was
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear it too?
I'm telling you, it gets weird.
It freaking happens, bro.
It gets weird. I've been waiting for her to come back. Like,
you know, like, hey, I'm here, y'all.
Hey, besties. Yeah, basically.
Like, can we not? So
we should name her.
My mom was telling me the story of when she was... No, that's bad. No, you don't associate. No, you don't associate.
Hey, bestie.
So my mom was telling me the story of when she was a kid in her house. And so a bunch of her friends were over. All of the parents were outside, like, drinking and stuff. And so, like, the kids were inside, and they were all, like, playing games or whatnot. And she was like, yeah, we were just hanging out, and a picture fell off the wall. We just thought, like, one of us, like, was running around, and, like, you know, because they were smaller kids, we just thought it got dumped off the wall or whatever. So my mom gets, like, a stepladder and goes to put the picture back up in the wall. And, like, as she's putting it back up in the wall, she feels something, like, push the painting back at her, like, the picture, like, and then it, like, literally flew out of her hands. Like, someone had, like yanked it out of her hands at her face, and she dodged it and, like, was able before it wouldn't hit her. And then all of a sudden, all the paint, like, all the pictures on the wall started going woof, and I was like, and
no way.
And I've spent the night in that house, and there are some crazy things that happen in that building. Let me just tell you right now.
Yeah, so I think it's really dependent on whether or not you've had weird experiences to you or around you, like
Bruh.
people you know, and they tell you the story and you're like, yeah, you're not lying to me right now, because skeptics are always like, because they only read online stuff. But, like, I've had enough stuff in my lifetime where I'm like, yeah.
No.
Tee. I'd done, like, paranormal. Okay, backstory.
Yeah.
So I didn't believe in it at first. Like, it was, like, circa 2017.
I don't know why I couldn't believe you not believing that. You just don't like fun. I could fully see you just being like, whatever.
She lost her talking rights. I should really not be in control of the board. Anyways, so
You
I
didn't even turn her mic back on, bro.
Exactly.
Little kiss.
I just
return kiss.
Anyways,
We'll close that.
That was terrible. I had to be. That sounded absolutely disgusting.
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, y'all can never let me say a story on here. Gosh.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, I didn't believe in it. It just really wasn't, like, I don't know. My family was hardcore religious, and it's just something you just didn't believe in, so I never didn't think about it.
That's fair.
And then one of my really good friends I made freshman year, which became one of my best friends in college, she, like, hardcore believed in it. She was on a paranormal investigation team since she was, like, 10. Like, she has been, like, hardcore into it. And so I just, like, blew her off. I was like, yeah, whatever. I believed her, but I was like, on the back of my mind, I was like, this could probably be fake. So she invited me to go on a trip with her out of the state. And so we went on a road trip to go do it in Lincoln, New Mexico, which is where Billy the Kid and all that. So that was my first trip with her, and she was like, come on, just go, it'll be a fun trip. Like, we're going to New Mexico, we're going to Colorado, we're going to do all this stuff. So I was like, it's summer, like, I don't have anything to do.
You said vacation? Yeah.
Yeah, so she was going for a whole nother purpose. I was like, okay.
Road trip.
So yeah, it's my first college road trip with one of my friends. Like,
right, like, this sounds fun.
It was literally just us two. We road tripped it hard.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. But yeah, so in the middle of the night, we were awake, the whole team were like, okay, we're going to go out and, like, do that. I'm like, they had the equipment, and, like, it was like a real thing. Like, they had t-shirts. So and a Facebook page, y'all. So they were standing in the middle of the page, and they're like, use my energy if you want to try to communicate with us, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, this is such bullshit. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, whatever. So I was staying there, just like, doo-doo-doo, twiddling my thumbs. Next thing I know, I feel something breathe down my back and touch me. And I was like,
ew.
I can. You know what's funny? Because I know that experience, and I'm like, please don't.
I know.
Please
She
don't.
said that, and I was like, ooh. Like, I
exactly.
did one of these.
So I was like, okay, you got me. I'm sold. Like, I definitely believe you. And, like, I told them, and they're like, oh, then maybe they want to communicate with you. And, like, we figured out who it was, and, like, long story short. But yeah, that was, like, my first trip. And then my second trip, we went to a sane asylum down in South Texas.
Bro,
Cool.
Bro.
It is not a good idea to go to any abandoned hospital.
Don't be
insane
doing
asylum.
nothing, y'all.
Don't do it.
If you go to visit it and just to look at it, that's fine. But if you go to do paranormal stuff, you are gonna die.
You better know
Well, I'm
your
alive,
stuff.
so.
You better know your stuff.
They're all professionals, and I just, like, went in with them. And
See, that's okay, because
You were, like, escorted, though. You know,
Yeah,
you didn't just...
like-
they were like, go ahead, Gabby, and you were like,
no.
hi, ghost.
I'm a
like,
chicken. And I was just like, okay. And so I went with them, and then they set up a ball on this table, and they had a light on the ball, and they're like, use our energy to move the ball. That ball was, like, spinning. I was like,
I'm gone.
I was like, you're lying. So yeah, that happened. And then, like, after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna sit down. And they have a camera recording set up everywhere. So they've been on, like, Ghost Adventures and all that. Like,
I love
things
that for them.
Even
That's
though
really
Ghost
cool.
Adventures is low key kind of fake,
Yeah.
they're, like, legit, and I kind of believe, like, I really do believe it. And then fun story on that, we were driving back to her parents' house, and as we were driving, there was a snake standing straight up in the road. I was like,
disgusting, foul.
no.
Mm-mm.
That was just a fun little story. But yeah. So what did Taylor say? Straight up, my old roommate and I were talking about a ghost in our neighboring dorm room, and was like, nah. Then out of nowhere, her water bottle sitting on the counter across the room flies off.
I remember her telling me that story.
Ew.
I remember you telling me that, Taylor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, okay, so my grandparents, so if you look it up, Lake Brown, that's my grandparents. We all used to live there, and it was like a family lake. So like we've had lots of relatives die on the property. And a lot of these people I have not met.
At least in real life.
And you know those videos, that kid that's like, I can see dead people, and I'm telling you, I've never met these people, did not know what they look like, but I could definitely, like, I would have like dreams or like apparitions of seeing these people. My grandparents would be like, oh yeah, so and so, and I was like, yeah, they look like this and this, and they were like, how did you know what they look like?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Kids are
really, they're very connected because they're
so vulnerable, and then they don't know what's happening.
They don't have any skepticism to like break through. Like they're just accessible.
Yeah, and my friends, her family, her her niece is like that. She's like really like not into paranormal, but she can tell you stuff. And like the property they lived on, there used to be a plantation, and like I'm pretty sure like a plantation, and then like all that stuff back in the day. So that's all been torn down, but they built a house on top of it, and now that house, like, freaky. Like, she has this friend, like, she like draw her out, and she's like, look, and her grandfather's like, oh my god, like this is like legit. Like
my grandparents were scared when I was a kid, because like I would go and like play. You know, like every kid has like their imaginary friends, but your imaginary friends don't be moving things around the room. You know what I mean? And I was like, I was like, Mom, did you move like this doll? Or like my grandparents would be like, did you move this doll from like the playpen? And she was like, no. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, it's not there. And I was like, okay, cool. And I go back, and it's like on a shelf, like really high up. You know,
like where nobody else could put it.
And you know, and like I'm like maybe one of the adults, and she was like, no, I didn't mess with it. I left it there because I knew that you were gonna play with it. And then, you know, a few minutes later, I come around the corner, and she's like, my grandmother told me, you had told me that like so and so moved it for you, like they moved it.
Ew.
And I was like, because I had told her that. I don't remember this happening. My grandparents was like, yeah, you come around the corner, and you had said, oh, no worries, so and so moved it. And they were like, huh? What?
What did you say?
Could you repeat that again? Because
yeah, so I have a news article that I can send y'all about this story, but basically it's kind of funny. It's not funny. This is what I'm going to preface it. It's not funny, but my experience with it was funny. Okay, so
I laughed through my trauma.
Yeah, you're allowed to laugh. So POV, you're very, very young Carly. I don't remember the exact year, but like little baby Carly, and you are playing
circa 2012.
Yeah, no, before that, little baby Carly,
circa 2004. Ballpark it. Anyways, continue.
And you're playing Crash Bandicoot on the PS2.
Oh, it's circa like 2005, 2006.
Yeah, like we're vibing.
Okay.
And I'm staying up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm staying up. It's like 9 or something, you know, like whatever.
You're back, girl.
Yeah. I was like, I'm being so cool. And then I hear police sirens, and I'm like, oh my god, they're coming to get me. I thought they were like, because I wasn't supposed to be up. Or, you know how little kids think the cops are going to arrest them at all times. So I was like, and like went and laid down, just passed out, because I had been tired for like the past 2 hours or something, you know. Passed out, woke up, and I'm sitting at breakfast. I'm eating food, and the energy is astronomical, because my sister's like keeps looking at me, looking at my dad, and he's like setting up the table, and he's like looking at her, because my sister's 9 years older than me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
they know
what's going on? And because I thought I was in trouble, and my sister was like, the neighbor 2 streets down killed himself and his wife last night. And I was like, what? And my dad was like, Anna Marie, like just mad, you know? And he was like, she does not need to hear that. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you know, this happened, blah, blah. So, and I have the news article about that happening on the street I grew up, like straight up 2 streets down. And then one time we were driving home real late, like 10. It was me in the back seat, my stepmom and my sister in the car. And I'm like looking out the window, whatever, just chilling, because they're having a conversation that like a 7-year-old can't be a part of, you know. So I'm like, and then there's one of my neighbors on that side of the street had this gazebo, and right next to this gazebo, it was like at night, there was this woman who was this far off the ground, like just floating in like a kind of like a nightgown situation. And she was like glowing. And I just looked at her and screamed. Like, that's all I can manage because I was a wee lad. So I was like,
a wee lad.
Yeah, I was. All I did was scream, and my stepmom like hit the brakes. She was like, "What's wrong?" And they turned around like doing one of these. And they're like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "The lady." And they're like, "The lady," and like turned. And they were like, "Carly, nothing's there." And I was like, "Y'all didn't see her? She was floating." And they were like, "Floating," like freaked out. Like, everybody's tweaking now. So then we pull in and like run full force into the house. And my dad's like, "Hey, how's the thing?" We're like, "Screw the thing. Like, this happened, blah, blah." And I was like, because they were like, "Carly said this and this." And I thought I was getting in trouble because I said that. And he was like, "Oh, it's okay, sis. It's okay." Like, holding me.
Does your dad have a country accent?
No, that's just how I make him talk in my head. I mean, he sounds a little
Everyone has a voice for their parents. Like, you can't tell me. My mom is Brianna Nicole.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't stop doing
Yeah. He does not have
her.
that thick of an accent, but you can tell he's from Texas, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about as mild as my interactions got with ghosts. There was a real horrifying one 2 years ago for me. So if we're just doing ghost stories, I can tell that.
Spill it.
Okay,
I have one after you.
You know, this is the episode
we can do this
today.
It's
next
spooky
week.
season.
Yeah, this is appropriate.
This is spooky season. We're having a spooky season episode.
So I went home because I used to live in the dorms. I went home for whatever, a visit, a break, what have you.
Went home for the weekend.
Yeah. And imagine a square room. My bed is on this back wall. On the wall completely opposite from that is like my desk in the corner, right? So we're like working on this here. And there's like my desk, my dad custom built me because he's a carpenter.
That's
so it
so
has
cute.
like all these drawers and stuff, like huge drawers. And my parents were basically using my room for storage. So they had like all this paperwork and stuff. And I was sleeping and I woke up for whatever reason, because normally I fall asleep. You don't see me till I wake up. Like, I'm gone. I don't wake up to pee. I don't wake up to do nothing.
You're like Taylor, you go into a coma.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend's like, you
Same.
die. Like, you're dead.
Literally
Yeah,
same.
like, I'm gone. So I woke up and I was like, huh? And I thought it was one of my cats messing with me or something, because he'll just like jump on you and then run away. But my door was closed. And I kind of like wake up real like groggy. And in front of my desk, it looks like my mom maybe like going through the drawers. Like, she's going through them. And I'm like, Annette? Because it's my stepmom. I was like, Annette? And the person like stops what they're doing. And I was like, and realized,
No.
oh, that's not my mom. And I messed up by acknowledging it. Like, if you see something, act like you didn't. That's all my
It's the
number one
hardest thing to
advice.
do, but
Yeah,
it's definitely worth
absolutely. For sure, don't talk to it, especially if you're seeing it. Don't do that. So I broke my number one rule for myself. And I was like, ooh, and I just watched her. And it went from being like the shape of my mom, and I watched it morph down into this like decrepit, scrawny, skin and bones, creepy old woman that was like sitting like this right in front of my desk. And I don't know how long I just sat there. Because if you look away at something and then look back, I'm expecting it here. It's across the room from me. Boom, like that. So I didn't look away. And eventually, somehow I got the nerves to like go over and turn my light on. Because the thing with lights in a dark room is like, I turn this light on, it's gone. I'm freaking out, whatever. It's just something. Or it's like a shape. I turn this on and there's a human being in my room. I'm screwed. Like, what am I doing? First off, I'm in PJs, fully tucked in because I tuck myself in. And like the most, like the far corner of our house, like, I'm SOL in that situation. So I'm like, turn it on. Nobody's there.
You're like, oh, thank God.
I was like, and then the next morning, my mom was making like, I don't know, pancakes or something. And I was like, hey, bestie, guess what happened last night? And she was like, first off, I tell her this whole thing. She's like, oh, that's so crazy. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you. And I was like, thanks. Because my mom believes it too. Because we've seen stuff together, actually.
Yeah.
But then she's like, yeah, there's been like really weird stuff going on in the house. I don't know if something's back or whatever. And I'm like, you didn't care to mention that when I said I was coming down to visit for the weekend.
Something's
I would
back?
have stayed somewhere else. Yeah, I was like, thanks, Annette. Appreciate it.
Bro, nah, fam.
Yeah.
Nah, fam.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to tell you this story. It's not my story. It's my cousin's story, but she's like older than me. She's like got 5 kids,
Woman.
A grown woman.
Adult.
And
couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me either. So, do not mess with Ouija boards. ever. That is like the number one rule. But
why do they sell them?
Because
I don't know,
it wasn't initially supposed to be for spirits. It's supposed to be a game.
This is the exact way I've described it. I describe it to my girlfriend all the time because I love scary stuff, but I do it very respectfully. I know like all the rules that go with it, you know? And she was like, weren't they like, they only started making them like in the 80s or some, you know, like really early timeline wise. And I'm like, yes, but anything can be a vessel of communication if you set it with that intention. This piece of paper I have right now, your computer, that could be whatever. If I'm saying, hey, communicate with me through this, and a Ouija board just happens to be really convenient. So yeah, when people sit down and if there's spirits present and you're like, talk to us, it doesn't exactly stay a toy. They're not going to be like, what is this children's nonsense?
They're actually gonna. So anyway, so the story behind it is she had an aunt pass away, and in a house. Right, so they go back to the place and they are like, with her like I think some friends, they went because she was like really upset and like wanted to talk. So our friend was like, yeah, we'll get the Ouija board. And we're like, talk to your aunt. Bad decision. Any spirit that says they know you or is a child, run. Run immediately. Anyways, so she goes, like, I'm getting chills thinking about it because like I know what house she's talking about and I'm like, yeah, thinking about it now because it gives me the heebie-jeebies every time I walk by it. Anyways, so they're messing with it and they're talking to this person, this spirit, through the board, you know, like, and it's like, you know, being dumb. They take their hands off, bruh.
You will catch me screaming at a horror movie anytime somebody breaks the circle.
If you break the circle,
cool, if you deserved it, I know.
Yeah, you literally
There's
deserve
basic rules and you just broke like all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
And so anyway, so they had done that and then the house actually started shaking. Like the blinds on the windows were shaking so bad they like came down, the curtains came down, pictures were falling off the wall, like it was like actually shaking. And they weren't smart. No, they just ran. And I was like, that thing is gonna follow you now.
Yeah.
Like you're all
with that now.
I'm surprised they all lived because like they're all alive, but like
Something probably just attached them, honestly.
yeah.
And it's scary, bro. Like stuff like that happening, and then knowing that it happened in that house, like being an empath really sucks because I can tell when the energy's not good, and I walk in somewhere, I'm like,
Yeah, I don't really love visiting my sister. I will sit in her living room. I don't like going back to her bedroom because there's this one hallway.
It's just got bad energy.
I have to like run through it. Like I cannot be in there for more than I need. Like,
Are you the type of people that can read people's aura?
yes,
I feel
usually it depends. Like if I know this person a decent amount, I can usually tell pretty quickly.
or just
like,
meeting people. I'm like, no.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
the
same.
thing with being an empath is when the spooky things happen, they happen tenfold. You know, because they know that you're an empath. They're like, oh, we know that we're here.
Ghosts
they
really
know
do have that. I see you seeing me type energy.
they
and
know.
They will let you know.
They know, and they let you know, bro. And I'm like, That's why I get paranoid so easily. If like there's a
My
noise
paranoia
happening,
is
horrible.
horrific.
So there's this girl, and I'm assuming she like broke her leg or something. So she's on like one of those like cart things. You know, like has one leg on the cart, and one leg pushing it. I think.
half
But
scooter.
so whenever she gets up in the middle of the
I had
night,
one of those.
she'll hobble around her room, but she's on the 3rd floor, so it shakes like my apartment and the apartment below mine. You know what I mean? Actually, I think it's actually on the either it's 3rd or 4th floor. Anyways, but it shakes my apartment, and like it's such a very vivid sound. If you've ever heard like knocking from a spirit, that's what it sounds like.
Ugh.
And I feel so sorry for Taylor because we'll be hanging out in the living room and that will happen, and my paranoia sets in and I'm like,
yeah.
and I like freeze and I'm like, no, please, not today. No,
Yeah.
I'm not having it. No, we're not doing that.
It's so funny.
I have so many more stories.
It's funny that you're like that. My friend's an empath as well, and she that does all the stuff, and she like really enjoys spirits companies and like doesn't mind it. Like
It depends
it's
on.
So
I actually
positive, then
I
it's
had
fine.
a spirit with me growing up in my old house. I had a house that was built in the 1800s, and it was like moved there. It was like a log cabin, and only I would interact with it. It hated anybody who was like close to me though. Like if any of my friends came over, like one time, I was playing Guitar Hero because I'm so good at Guitar Hero, and I was like shredding away doing whatever. And my friend Angel was laying on my bed like reading a book because we have the type of vibe where we just like being around each other.
Yeah.
We don't have to be doing the same thing. So we're chilling, and then this is gonna timestamp this story. You know those DS case? You know what I'm talking about, where you would like keep your games and stuff. I had one of those on a desk in like the far corner of the room, not by the bed, to where you could like swing your feet and touch it or whatever. And it goes flying past me on the opposite side of the room, and I was like, "Oh, that's so rude, Angel." And she was like, "Carly, it's not nice to throw things at people." And I went, paused my game and turned. I said, "Excuse me?" And she was like, "You didn't throw that?" And I was like, "Angel ridded me this. How am I on this side of the room throwing something that was over on the other side?" And she was like, and I was like, you didn't throw it? She was like, I was like, we put everything down. We slept in my living room. Like, did not go back down in my room. I was like, no.
Yeah, no, bro. I have another story if y'all don't have any, because I have a really good one.
I have some, but
okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. Tell yours and I'll tell you mine.
So my friend, the one that has all these crazy stories, she actually one time got burned, like had a full blown mark.
I have a small tangent for that.
I remember I've been like grabbed. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, they were going through this theater that is still open to the public in her hometown. They were going through it and just like walking around. They weren't even doing anything. They were just looking at the place.
Yeah, just scoping it
and
out.
All she feels is something burning down her back. She still has this photo. It's freaking crazy. So it's literally a claw down her back, and she's like, I'm burning. Like, her dad's like, what? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And she like lifts up her shirt and she's like, I'm burning, Dad, look. And it's a claw. And the second they like step out of the building and start praying, it goes away.
I watched this really short story. I watched this video, and it's like one of the most realistic videos I've ever seen, to be honest. Like, one of them. And it's these guys, you know those masks? I think they did it in Insidious, maybe, where they put the mask on, and it's almost like mini isolation chamber where it.
Oh, and they have like it's like the breathing.
It like narrows the communication.
Yeah.
He was doing that, and at one point he just like rips the mask off, and he's like I'm burning up, like I'm on fire right now, and they're like, it's okay, come on, come outside, because it was like dead winter and it was like snowing where they were at. And, like, if you go out in the snow, sometimes you can steam if your body temperature is real high, you know? But, like, nothing else, except he had scratch marks right here on his neck. And he went like this. Like, he was like, oh, my God, like, look. And they were like, oh, dude. And they got holy water. They had stopped by a priest before coming to do this. Like, smart. Like, these guys were on it. They poured the holy water, and it steamed, like boiling water type of steam came off of him. And I was like...
Yeah, y'all be thinking this stuff ain't real until it happens.
Until it happens to you.
You're like, ugh.
And that's the issue. My cousin growing up, she was always so interested in it. Like, she was always like, no, Carly, like, let's do this. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Like, no.
And I was like, bro, because I'm on the understanding of, like, I understand it. I will look into the practice and then, like, no, it's not for me and stay away from it. But I can read up on it, you know? I would never attempt anything.
No, never.
I'm not going to open communication, blah, blah, because I don't want all that. I just want to know about it. My cousin, on the other hand, wanted an experience. And so I'd be hanging out with her, and I'd be like, maybe she won't do it this time. Then she'd be like, you want to do something scary? And I'd be like, no, I'm not trying to. If I bring demons into my dad's place, he's going to be mad at me. Like, I can't do that. And a lot of stuff has happened.
That is a misconception, though. A lot of people just think that they're demons.
Yeah.
And it's really not.
No, rarely is it.
It's literally like 90 to 10. Like 90% of the time it's not, the 10% it is.
And it's just a spirit that's just...
Yeah.
They're just mad. Forgotten or mad or like something like that.
Y'all believe in purgatory?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
It's like such a Catholic thing, and most people don't believe in it. I'm like,
that kind of makes sense.
Real.
No, it makes sense.
I think this is purgatory, though. You know what I mean? Like...
We're in purgatory?
Yeah, like, we're living life, but the ghosts that are still around us, like, this still is their purgatory.
Yeah.
Because they're just living it in a different state.
Yeah.
That's not exactly where they need to be.
Yeah.
But the thing with my cousin was she would do all this stuff, and I don't know what it is. I don't want it. If I could get rid of it, I would. A very good connection with spirits. Like, they're always like, hey. And I'm like, no, I don't want this, please. And she's like, she wants it to be going on. But I'd be like, hey, we have to, like, stop doing what we're doing, you know, like, freaked out, whatever. And she'd be like, why? Like, what's going on? I'm like, this, and this. She's like, well, I didn't hear that. And I'm like, okay, but I'm hearing it. Like, can we please stop doing this thing? Like, it's so scary.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He wants us to wrap
it up.
Okay.
So.
Well, you can tell us our story afterwards.
Yeah.
Spooky story.
We can continue this. Absolutely.
Oh, please. I have so many.
We can come back each week until Halloween with spooky stuff.
I'm not here trying to play this song and I don't know how hockey's on it. Yeah. You're actually in a NASCAR race right now.
Yeah, I'm taking a left turn. I'm taking another left turn.
We're at Dega, Talladega.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Well.
Oh.
Horrific ghost stories.
Listeners, viewers, we have come to the end on this here episode. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find our show on our YouTube channel, Tarleton Radio, as a video, or listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. For updates about the show and other interesting things we make here at the station, make sure to follow us on all of our social media, and the links will be down in the description. This has been an episode of Cruisin The Planet, where you can find things to do in and around Steveville and hear about all of our spooky stories. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to recommend us to a friend. Also, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.